Hello, this is Rob, aka Trekfreek. This is my very first movie review that I'm posting. I am reviewing J.J. Abrams' new Star Wars. Yes, the man who took Star Trek and butchered it and smashed it and ruined all my childhood memories has once again taken the helm of another favorite franchise of mine. And surprisingly, he's actually in his element. So the name Jar Jar fits for this man, not because he's a goofball and screws up everything this time, but because Star Wars is his element. This movie was a surprising joy. I was very reluctant in going. My sister talked me into going to see it with her, and it was amazing. I have to admit, I was really surprised. I only have a few tiny criticisms about it, but in a nutshell, this is how it goes. Spoilers. It opens up where Luke is missing, and they explain later, but the title scroll says Luke is missing, and the Empire has reformed itself into a terrorist organization out to destroy the New Republic. The Republic is in one piece, but its forces are so scattered in trying to maintain order and making the New Republic work that Leia had to start a new off-site resistance against the terrorists. And that's why they're called Resistance. But the Republic army is still intact. They're just busy doing peace envoys, where the Resistance fights the newly formed First Order terrorist group. I find that a nice twist. I was really worried that they were going to be the ruling order like so many people thought. No, they are most definitely a terrorist group led by a creature who assumed the role of the Emperor as supreme leader. And this creature looked surprisingly like the drawings of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Now, don't get me wrong, Darth Plagueis is definitely dead. He's most definitely dead. But it might have been a relative or a mentor of Darth Plagueis. It's very interesting that they decided to make him look like Darth Plagueis from the book cover. And it was actually very refreshing. The main villain was an apprentice of Luke's who fell to the dark side and misguided. He's not a Sith. These are not Siths. The Sith is definitely destroyed, but these are new Dark Forcers. They're not Dark Jedis like in the expanded universe. They're Dark Forcers, and you have another name for them, which eludes me right now. And another spoiler is they have this new version of the Death Star, which is even more amazing. They stole a plot idea from Doctor Who, and which I'll come back to later in a minute. But I was really surprised and just overjoyed with the whole thing. It was just amazing. There are a few nitpicks which I'm going to hit right now. First nitpick. Han Solo's son. Yes, he has a son. He's in it. I don't want to give away too much. But his son's name is straight from the expanded universe. His son's name is Obi-Wan Solo. Why he named him after Obi-Wan Kenobi, I have no idea. It's silly because Leia barely knew Obi-Wan. Han saw him as a crazy old man who killed himself for no reason. You'd think he would name him Lando or Luke or even Chewbacca. But no, he named his son Obi-Wan and calls him Ben. The second pet peeve I have about the movie is that the weapon can shoot its energy clear across the galaxy in a matter of seconds and destroy a planet clear across the galaxy, yet they stop and travel through hyperspace to get from point A to point B. It doesn't make any sense. It's inconsistent with what we thought we knew of the Star Wars universe. But then again, that's just another thing. And if this was a Star Trek movie, I would tear it to shreds. This would be just horrible because it goes against all logic and all facts of physics. But Star Wars are constantly changing the rules, they're constantly changing the laws of physics in it, so you can just, ignore it and enjoy it. That's the nice thing. And the third pet peeve I have is that the Millennium Falcon can travel through hyperspace through solved objects. Where in the first movie they said if you bounce too close to a supernova or a hot sun or an asteroid field, you have to get into your trip real quick. You have to have precise calculations. But Han travels the Falcon right through solid objects into hyperspace. He pops out right through solid objects and right through shields. So it's kind of inconsistent. But again, if you pay attention to the movies, they're constantly changing the rules. So you can just, that's just another change of the rules there. The fact that constantly changing the rules in these Star Wars movies proves that's pure fantasy. It's not sci-fi. Science fiction means it has real science in it. Science fiction literally means that the science that we have today, that we've calculated what it's going to be like tomorrow. Fine example of this is lasers. The modern lasers that we have now in our hands and the palms of our computers are harmless. But we do have lasers that are strong enough to project a spot on the moon, and as they said in Goldfinger when it was first made, is more directly it could cut through solid metal. And we're slowly making them smaller, smaller, more powerful. So one day, we will have laser guns. And Star Wars does not have science fiction in it. It's fantasy, and that's okay. There are pet peeves of all the movies I have that I can just ignore when I watch it and enjoy it. There's just a few other things, like they're stealing the idea of turning a planet into a spaceship. They got that from Doctor Who. This is a space weapon platform, just like they did in Doctor Who, where pirates turn a planet into a planet engulfer and miner, and it's an ultimate weapon that way, and they're called pirate planets, or the pirate planet engulfs another planet and mines it to death, and then they move on to the next one. Well, they got that idea from Doctor Who. They also got it from another Doctor Who episode from the early black and white ones, where the Daleks take over Earth and try to turn it into a giant rocket using slave labor. That was also turned into a movie called Doctor Who versus the Daleks. I think that's what it's called. It's with Peter Cushing, but it's the same episode. But the nice twist is how the weapon works, and it's an abundant source of energy. So it literally sucks all the energy out of a star or a sun, and builds it up, and it has to be released. Otherwise, the planet will explode. Well, you have an inhibitor that keeps the whole planet from exploding, and of course, as you imagine, it's a massive one. So in order to stop this weapon from destroying whole worlds, they have to destroy this mechanism that keeps the planet from exploding before it has a chance to release its energy. It's an amazing thing. When they first detonated the planet, used it, they destroyed a planet and 3 moons. And I'm not going to tell you which planet it is, because it's a real shocker. I was like, whoa. I cried when it happened. But it's just, they took the elements from Doctor Who. I've been reading a lot of complaints, such as the heroine Rey using the Force without any proper Jedi training. There's only one problem with this complaint, is if you actually pay attention to the movie, the villain is accidentally teaching her. The bad guy's actually teaching her how to use the Force. Anakin was able to use the Force without training. I mean, he piloted pods. He had Jedi reflexes. He can see things before they happen. That's using the Force. So Anakin used the Force without training. Rey can use the Force without training. It happens in the books. It happens in the movies. So people complain about that. They don't pay attention. They're not true fans of the show. And that's how the original Jedi came about. They used the Force without any training, and they learned the hard way. It's all part of the Star Wars canon. So, I mean, you just have to pay attention, people, when you watch this, to catch these little things. They're there. Everything's explained, and that's what's so surprisingly wonderful about this movie is, unlike the Star Trek '09 and Into Darkness, everything is explained and rationally explained. It's not like some fanboy nerd made up a bunch of shit and called it Star Wars. No, this fits in the canon of the Star Wars universe. It's actually very good and surprising. It doesn't hurt that one of the writers wrote for Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So you got that person to make sure that it sticks with the canon of Star Wars. It's just a wonderful, fun Star Wars ROM. I was truly surprised, and I love the twists and turns. And the niceness, Luke's lightsaber, /Anakin's lightsaber, the same one from Episode 4 and 1, 2, and 3, and of course in the Vampire, was in it. But they didn't explain how they got it, which is a nice twist. Instead of saying, well, I flew into a gas giant and picked it up, or I found it on the Cloud City, or they kept it out of there. Left it up to the imagination of the audience, and that's a smart move. Let you decide how that lightsaber was found. And the way our heroes get it is really good. It's believable. It's not ridiculous. I'm just really, truly impressed with the whole movie. And I'm going to go see it again to get more detail. But for now, that's my review out of movies ratings. And I would give Star Wars The Force Awakens, I would give it 4 stars, because the inconsistencies are so minute that I did not even notice them while watching it. That is truly surprising and amazing. So, J.J. Abrams, stick to Star Wars. That's your element. Stay out of Star Trek. And apologize for the end of Lost. I mean, that was the worst. I mean, that last couple of seasons of Lost were just so bad and so confusing. And like Mark Hamill said as the Joker, why did it all end in a church? Ugh. Alright. That's my review. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me. If not, I'm sorry. Go see it. Have some fun. Don't listen to the hype.